Welcome back to ProjectAlan. In the previous episodes of my Mk2 Golf build, we painted stuff, we changed some seals, made timing stuff happen, and today we're gonna finish assembling the engine to make it look absolutely fantastic. Next up, I want to do the PCV box thingy and the oil filter housing. So first let's remove the tape. Then I'm gonna clean up the surface. So, clean the surface. Got my oil filter housing that's been cleaned up. And the new gasket. Let's install it. So there's 3 bolts. One of them is long and 2 short ones. The long one goes here. And the 2 short ones go down below. And all of these bolts need to be tightened to 25 Newton meters. I really hope my torque wrench will fit in here because I freaking love to use it. And a very satisfying part, putting on a brand new oil filter. I'm one of those people that oils up the seal on the filter with a little bit of oil and just thread it on. And hand tight will do. Before I start the car, I will probably fill it with oil because it's been sitting for a while, but I just want to look at a complete engine. Next will be a brand new PCV box thing. This is the new part. I want to lube up the O-ring. And with the O-ring lubed up, time to just push it home. After a good talk with a rubber mallet, it's seated in, and all I need to do is put in the 4 bolts. Well, the problem is that the bolts were super rusty, so I cleaned them up a bit, but they'll just rust again. So I have no choice pretty much, and I need to paint them. So postponing this job as well. Before I call it for today, I want to rebuild my water pump. I mean, replace the water pump. So first let's tear it down. There we go. Man, it's very clean in there. I'm so happy that the person used actual antifreeze instead of water. But why I'm changing the pump? It doesn't look that bad. It's actually very clean, but it sounds... Not sure if it should sound like that, so I'll just replace it. And here is the new pump. Sorry for my glove. New gasket, new pump, and 2 O-rings. Because these bolts look awful, I bought some new stainless ones. So, time to put it together. First the gasket, then the pump, couple of bolts to line it all up, and all these bolts should be tightened to 20 Newton meters. Yep. Okay, learn from my mistakes. The bolts that I bought are too short, and I just stripped a little bit of threads in that first hole. So another thing that I cannot finish because I don't have the bolts, nuts or whatever. So, bolts that are too short and I stripped the hole. Hopefully I just stripped the front of it and the rest of it is fine. Some bolts that are very rusty and ugly. Some nuts that I am missing because they're ugly. So I'll go shopping and I see you in 2 seconds.
Tomorrow.
So, got some new bolts. Sadly these are not stainless, just zinc plated. But they're the correct length, so whatever. Another thing that I found out is that on the original bolts there are split washers. I thought they were just simple washers, but I found some and I dropped one. And that's all of them replaced. Well, I made a mistake and I thought that these bolts need to be torqued to 20 Newton meters. That seemed quite a lot. So yeah, these bolts are 20 Newton meters. These are 10. So yeah, let's just torque them up. And of course I'm gonna mark them because that's fun. And there we go. Next is the pulley. And these M8 bolts need to be tightened to 25 Newton meters. And well, because I can't hold the pulley that well, I will tighten this on the engine. And back to the engine. I got some nuts for the valve cover, so time to install a new seal. First I'm gonna apply some RTV to the edges and the half moons. Not too much, but it should help seal these places. Then to the corners in the front. And let's lay in the new gasket. I'm gonna squish those corners and the half moon in the back. Next is the valve cover. Then these bars that distribute the load. Let's not forget the plastic piece with the timing mark on it. And put on the nuts. Bought some domed ones. Not sure if they will even fit, but I think they could look pretty cool. And all these nuts should be tightened to 10 Newton meters. And it's torqued. Next is a new oil cap. This one's fine, but I like the ones with the logos on it. Yeah, and it tightens horizontally. Love it. Next is a new seal for the breather. Gonna oil it a bit to make it easier to install. Push it in. And lastly, the new valve, I guess. There we go. Can't really remember how it goes, so like that for now. So I got the bolts painted for this canister thing. So let's install them. And these bolts should be tightened to 20 Newton meters. Done. In no particular order, I'm gonna install this engine hook. 20 Newton meters as well. Next I want to install the water pump. So first of all, the masking needs to come off. Then I will remove the old O-ring. So, clean surface, and a new O-ring goes in just like so. Now, because this surface is quite pitted and rusted, I'll apply a tiny bit of RTV to help it seal. And time for the pump. I marked some of the balls and didn't mark others, so hopefully I will get it right. And these bolts should be tightened to 20 Newton meters. Next is this spacer bolt, and 20 Newton meters as well. I think I put it the wrong side in because it doesn't want to sit flush. So I'll flip it over. Yeah, that feels better. 20 Newton meters. Well, I wanted to test fit the alternator bracket to see if I need some other bolts. Well, I'm an idiot and I put the spacer piece in the wrong hole. It was supposed to be here. Almost forgot this weird bolt that goes right here. Ten Newton meters. Since I am here and I have pretty good access, I'll start to install the engine wiring. And in this spot goes the grounding bus thingy mabob. Cleaned it up a bit. I'll probably remove the paint from this area and bolt it on. $20 Newton meters. Again, while I'm here, I'll do the knock sensor and need to clean the paint off as well. Clean the surface on the sensor as well. And 20 Newton meters once again. I really hate these ugly bolts and the sensor, but I need to control myself. So, time to put on the bracket. And I'm gonna use 2 new nuts. Installed. Next, I will route some wiring. So this thing clips into the bracket that we just installed. Then the temperature sensor and the oil pressure switch. Then this goes for the oil light. Was wondering what this one is, but as I can see in my pictures, it was just loose in there. So loose in there it is. There's a little wiring clip on the breather canister, and that is as much as I can do at the moment. Next I'll do the spark plugs. It's weird that it's pretty much impossible to change them unless you remove the whole freaking intake system. And these look like they haven't been changed for a long time, probably because of that reason. Stupid. Yeah, they all look awful. Probably never changed. A birthday for this engine. So before I put new ones in, I will vacuum the ports to hopefully get all the crap out of them. New spark plugs. Oh yeah, these look beautiful. And the spark plugs should be tightened to 20 Newton meters. Next, I want to put on the bottom half of the intake manifold. So first, cleanup. And time to put on the inlet manifold. So, when you see this, you'll know how good this engine will look like. Makes me so excited. Are you ready? Look at that color. Hell yeah. Put the gasket on. And let's get a couple of bolts to line it up. All of these should be torqued to 20 Newton meters. Awesome. And I just remembered that I forgot to mark the torqued bolts, so I'm gonna do that just for fun. Next will be the fuel rail, and I want to clean up these injectors, so let's take it apart. These are a bit rusty and ugly, so I will probably use a wire wheel to clean up the rust. Here they cleaned up. Now I'll just mask them up real quick and spray them black. While the paint is drying, let's put on this bracket. There is one bolt on the top and the other one is behind the timing cover. This one is 20 Newton meters and the top one is 10. Then on the other side there's this hose holder, 10 Newton meters as well. Now, because I put all the wires that need to be here, I can put on the alternator bracket, belt tensioner, thingy-mabob. And that's done. Next I want to replace the tensioner pulley. Wow, it barely spins. Okay, so undo the bolt. Wow, it's almost completely stuck. I can't even rotate it. Holy crap. Garbage. A brand new pulley. And yeah, this one at least spins, which is nice. So, line it up, put in the bolt, and torque it up to 20 Newton meters. Okay, scratch that. I put it on backwards. Make sure it's on the correct side. And lastly, install the cap. The paint is dry enough, so let's remove the masking tape. Now I have some new O-rings for the injectors. And new O-rings installed. Next I'll reinstall the clip that holds in the pressure regulator. And then I'll put the injectors back in. It's funny that I painted the injectors, but I will put these back on the way they are, because I'm too lazy to fix them. I contradict myself on this build a lot. I paint some stuff, I don't paint some stuff. It's weird, but whatever. And here's the fuel rail done. Fuel rail going in. Ah, that was a nice sound. 2 bolts to hold the fuel rail in onto the inlet manifold. And 10 Newton meters. Next is the wiring. It goes through a hole between 2 runners. The wiring goes through this hole in the manifold, and there's this little hole and a clip on the wiring. So let's clip it in. And the rest of the wiring just makes sense. Plug it in where it reaches. And let's put the wiring into the holder. And this part is done. Since there's no more bolts that should go behind the timing cover, it's time to put it on. Looking good. And now, the thing that I am most excited about. I asked my dad to paint my inlet manifold, and look at how freaking amazing it looks. It's painted the same color as my car, and of course a silver VW badge. Super excited for it, so let's install it. First the gasket. Drop it on. And they even polished the bolts to make it look extra spicy. And tighten them to 20 Newton meters. Oh man, it looks so good. Next, let's plug in the intake air temperature sensor. Yeah, so there's a hole to clip in the wiring in the inlet. And then plug in the sensor. Next is the support bracket for the inlet manifold. (20 Newton meters). Throttle body next. A very clean throttle body. (10 Newton meters). And after you install a throttle body, it's mandatory to open it up a few times. And lastly, plug in the throttle position sensor. Almost forgot the Hall effect sensor. Remove the masking. Hole cleaned. Stuff the sensor in. And this bolt is 10 Newton meters. Next is the idle control valve. And I really should have done this before I put the manifold on, because now it will be a pain in the ass, but let's give it a shot. First is the rubber grommet for the pipe, then the control valve itself. And now I have a very fun task of trying to put this bolt into that hole right there. And lastly, plug it in. Done. Next, big heavy alternator. And if you are wondering, I'm using the plastic side of the hammer. And that looks perfect. Some copper grease as well. And the alternator holding bolts need to be tightened to 25 Newton meters. Next is the alternator wiring. First, this holding piece thing. Then this goes, the P-clip for the wiring goes on. Then the power wire. And the signal wire. The power wire is 20 Newton meters. Next, I'll put on a brand new breather pipe. Should go something like this. Just clips in. And this little connector piece. We wrestled for a bit, but it's installed. So after I installed the alternator, I decided to just spin it, and this is what it sounds like. Yeah, so that sounds awful. I'll have to take it off again and change the bearing or something, but let's leave this for another time. Let's install the power steering assembly. It's a bit difficult to show you what I'm doing because everything is on the bottom of the engine. So I was looking at the pulleys and thought, well, something's not right. And of course something's not right. I forgot an additional pulley. So remove the bolts again. Then put the pulley on and make a pulley sandwich. It only goes on one way. The holes are not in a neat order. There we go. Okay, that's it for now. One last thing before I finish this episode. So the old dipstick is broken off and I bought a new one, but it's too orange and too ugly. But I know where to find another one. And what do we have here? An unbroken original dipstick. Let's see if they're the same length. And yes, they are identical length. So the new one that I don't want goes in here. And you come with me. And the final touch for this episode. Sure. Okay, I put this backwards. Why do I keep putting stuff backwards? Holds much better now. Okay, now the final piece. Nice. So, it finally looks like an engine. After more than a year, it looks absolutely amazing. So much work, some blood, some dirty hands, and a lot of paint, and man, it looks awesome. I had a lot of first times with this engine. First time putting on a timing belt, first time changing crankshaft seals, camshaft seals, important seals pretty much. And I put stuff backwards, I stripped stuff, I forgot stuff, but it was so much fun and I loved working on it. Sure, there's still a lot to be done, but I think this is where I'll end the episode. Thank you so much for watching. It's the first video of me actually working on stuff that will be on my channel, and I'm pretty nervous, and turns out that it's way more difficult to film and work than I thought, so excuse bad angles, out of focus bits and stuff like that, but I tried to make it as good looking as possible and as informative as I could. And before I say goodbye, let's look at what we've done. Beautiful, isn't it? And well, I just absolutely love the little details, like the dipstick from the old engine It's gonna be a tiny sentimental secret that only we know. The domed valve cover nuts, I know it's a stupid thing to be excited about, but I like how they look. And of course the inlet manifold. Thanks Dad so much for painting this for me, it looks absolutely amazing. So once again, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!